So I probably mentioned this a couple of times, especially in the past few videos I've released recently, but 2020 I'm really excited about. I think this is going to be a really, really good year for games, just in terms of what's coming out. I wanted to do a top 10 list of things I'm anticipated or I'm quite excited for. This is just stuff that I'm like, is basically on my radar. I'm not going to do it in any kind of numbers or list in terms of what I'm most looking forward to. It's pretty much just a list of things in date order of things that are coming out this year. Some of the things, especially towards the end, are question marks for this year, but it's most likely coming out in 2020.
The only thing they fear is you.
So the first one on my list is a game coming out in March, a game I'm really looking forward to because the previous game in the series, or this new rebooted kind of series, was possibly my favorite first-person shooter of all time. Doom Eternal is coming out in March and is the sequel to 2016 Doom. Yeah, Doom 2016, when it came out, pretty much blew everything out of the water. I'm pretty sure it was my Game of the Year in 2016. It is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. But this is why I'm excited for Doom Eternal, because with Doom 2016, it was pretty much, let's have more of that, please. And from the footage they've shown, everything about Doom Eternal pretty much has said to me that, yes, we know what you liked about the previous game. We're going to give you that and a bit more. I'm a little bit skeptical with Doom Eternal because the first time, and I think I mentioned it on this channel as well somewhere, but the first time I saw Doom Eternal, I thought it was a bit too messy, and the UI, especially when you're playing the game, was a bit all over the place for me, just a bit too much. But I do like the new elements I've seen in Doom so far. I do like the link gun, or the chain gun that you can link and drag people around with. I can't remember the official name for it. There's also new animations that seem a lot more gorier than they were before, in glory kills and stuff you can do with that. And there just seems to be a lot more story and lore that they're bringing into Doom Eternal, which, if you look into Doom 2016 and look into it, Doom 2016's lore is pretty interesting, just in terms of what the Doomslayer is and represents. And I don't want to get too nerdy about it, but I'm actually quite excited for Doom Eternal to expand the lore of everything that went on in Doom 2016, because there's a lot of questions. If you replay Doom 2016, just replay it and kind of focus on the story a little bit. It's got some interesting things that I feel that they're going to bring up in Doom Eternal, which is another reason to get excited. And it's more Doom. I'm just really excited to get my hands on it and play it. It is really, for me personally, my first big game of the year. I'm super, super excited to play it again. Doom is amazing. Hopefully Doom Eternal is too.
Jill, what happened? Come in.
Now, I'm not a Resident Evil fan myself. I'm not a huge one. I do enjoy them, and I do play the majority of them. And I did play Resident Evil when I was very, very small, and that thing scarred me for life, and I never wanted to play again. But I'm not a huge, huge fan. Resident Evil 2 Remake came out last year. I'm currently playing it at the moment because I just didn't have the need to, because I never played Resident Evil 2 when I was younger. Didn't have that nostalgic need, but it did look amazing. And from what I've played of Resident Evil 2 Remake, it is amazing, even if you don't know, if you're not comparing to the original remake. This game is truly, truly amazing. Now, Resident Evil 3 is probably the one that I'm most excited for, because I did play Resident Evil 3 when I was young, and again, scared the shit out of me with Nemesis and all that kind of stuff. I'm really, really excited, though, to jump into it, just personally because this is the one that was kind of my favorite when I was young. Look, all the remakes so far of Resident Evil games have been pretty good. I am absolutely fine with them doing Resident Evil 3. I don't think they should carry on do 4, though. If they're thinking about doing a remake of 4, maybe that's where you stop, because there's quite a big gap between when 3 came out and when 4 came out, and I don't really think you need to remaster that. It already got like a remaster 4K update anyway on the PlayStation stuff. Resident Evil 4 does not need to be remastered, but what I'm saying is, getting back on point, is that Resident Evil 3, I'm looking forward to it, and maybe just after this, they probably will go back to their continuation of Resident Evil series after 7. We'll have 8. So, but I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 3 Remake. Comes out in April.
You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
Well, seems this old friend of mine's in a tight spot. Long time ago I made a promise, so...
I'm really glad to have you back, Cloud. Really glad.
Okay, here we go. So, this is one of 2 games that I'm pretty much the most excited about when it comes to 2020. And Final Fantasy VII Remake is possibly one of my most anticipated games of all time. Ever. Like, serious. Look, I've already experienced the story of Final Fantasy VII, but I'm just so excited from everything I've seen from this game. The trailers, every single trailer, oh my god, there's never been a bad trailer. And they've released about 7, I think. They're slowly just trying to tease the hell out of you, especially with fans, about what's coming in this game. The one thing that annoys me, and it will annoy a lot of people because they haven't really said this, Square Enix, so they're keeping it a little bit quiet, but essentially this version of the game that's coming out in April is essentially part 1 of the game. In my view, just personally, I think there's going to be a part 1, 2, and 3. So this game may not be completed until 2030. I don't know. That thought kind of scares me, but at the same time, if it's good, I don't mind waiting. If the first part 1 is great and it's the introduction to Midgar and it's introduction to all these characters that I'm so that I remember so very, very well, and they do a good job with it, I'm absolutely fine putting more money down for it because, you know, you got me with nostalgia and now I'm pretty much hooked at this point. Also, something I'm very excited for, and I don't know if this is cute or sweet, I don't know what you want to put this down as, but my girlfriend, who I've been trying to get into video games for the past 5 years since we've known each other, I've sort of got her into watching games as I play them. I think she's played a couple of games and completed a few, but she mainly watches me play video games because that's the way we do things in my house. We watch and play video games, of course. She's never known anything about Final Fantasy VII until she met me. So for her to experience the story of Final Fantasy VII for the first time, for me personally, that gives me even like more joy because I would kill to be in her shoes to kind of go through this whole story all over again. I've been so careful with spoilers. I've tried not to say anything for years since I've basically said to her, well, when this game comes out, I will be playing it and you will be watching it. Yeah, I'm beyond excited.
It's shark versus man. Man-eater.
Yeah, I just like the idea of it. I think it's a funny idea, but it's also very unique. I know that people have done like shark games on Steam before, but they were very like PvP. They were either survival kind of games and stuff, but this is more like you are a shark and you eat people and you play as a shark and you get to live the life as shark. And I think in this game as well, they added a gimmick where if you get stronger, your teeth get bigger or something like that. There was some sort of thing where you could upgrade your equipment or upgrade your teeth so they could be like you could have metal teeth and all sorts of ridiculous stuff. But I'm really looking forward to it when it comes out. It just looks like a really, really fun game to play in May.
More. Said I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong. No, I can't walk on the path of the right because I'm wrong.
As we all know, The Last of Us has pretty much been praised for many, many years, many awards and accolades, and is many people's favorite PlayStation game, especially the last generation. It kind of came out on PlayStation 3. but also when the remaster came out of The Last of Us for PlayStation 4, everyone pretty much loved that as well. It's a lot of people's favorite new-ish franchise. You know, it's nice to have a new franchise that everyone really loves, and you know, this is the second game from that series. There's a lot to kind of answer in this game. I'm not going to obviously go into spoilers about what happened in The Last of Us if you haven't played that. I do urge you to play The Last of Us just before this one comes out, and do possibly check out 2 when it does come out, if that sort of game interests you. But I'm really excited to just see where they go with this, because it has been some time. And it does feel a lot different in terms of characters and the story. It does feel a lot different to what 1 was. The photorealism and everything I've seen of the trailers and the way the faces work and facial animation and stuff, it's mad. Like, Naughty Dog's facial animation team, whoever does that, they deserve a load of awards, because they look crazy real, a lot of these people. And I think that adds to the dread and the scariness of The Last of Us. I think this is going to be a lot more darker, this version, just from seeing trailers and stuff, because it is Ellie and she seems to be mostly out and around this time. So I don't know, but I'm really, really looking forward to Last of Us Part 2. I wouldn't say that Last of Us, you know, the first one was my favorite PlayStation game of the last generation or anything like that. I really, really like Last of Us, and I think it's an amazing story-driven game, story action adventure game, and I absolutely love it a lot. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Will it be as good as the first one? I don't know. I personally think it will be on par. I don't think anything's kind of going to beat the first one. If it does, it's a pretty amazing game coming out this year. But either way, I'm really looking forward to Last of Us Part 2 coming out in May.
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
For me, this game took a while for me to make my mind up about it. I loved the idea initially, what they were trying to do. Because of the success of The Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red, for me and many other people, became one of the elite developers in terms of people who get respected around the gaming community, as these guys care, because the way they marketed and the way they distributed The Witcher 3 when it came out in terms of free DLC, it's cheap DLC that had a lot of stuff on it as well. In terms of just the way they cared and took time to listen to people and really just kind of was very fan focused and customer focused kind of team. They weren't shy to actually speak to people. Since then, I've had a huge respect for them, because they seem like they really truly give a shit about everything they do and everything they say. Personally, it's my dream game. I've always wanted a game like this, and a lot of people will consider, oh, what about Deus Ex or something like that? And I love Deus Ex. Deus Ex is one of my favorite series, but if I compare the scale of what Cyberpunk 2020 is trying to do to a Deus Ex game, it's just complete night and day. Deus Ex is very much a single player focus, while Cyberpunk is more of an open world, living world experience that you get to try. And I'm just so excited to play it. Like, I've been on about this game for years to friends, family, everyone, internet, saying how much I'm excited about this game. I just want this game to come out in the best state it can be, best release it can be, best polish it can have, because I just want to play that game when it comes out for about a week straight and probably not leave my room. So the next 4 games on my list are pretty much games that are coming out sometime in 2020, but they haven't been released or given an official release date yet. So the first one on this list is Watch Dogs Legion, or Watch Dogs 3. In a similar vein to cyberpunk, and I love like that whole futuristic setting, and that's just that kind of jazz. Near futuristic settings for me are like one of my favorite things ever in terms of movies, games, anything, books, anything. It's just one of my favorite kind of scenes or like environments, or I don't really know the right word to describe it, but yeah. And something I really, really miss in video games, and I haven't seen it since The Getaway Black Monday. I know Assassin's Creed Syndicate kind of did it. What I mean is having a map of London. In case you don't know, I live in the UK and I want a game set in London. And I've been rooting for it for ages because I loved just Englishness in Grand Theft Auto action adventure style games. I just love that kind of stuff. But I'm really looking forward to Watch Dogs 3. I really liked Watch Dogs 2. I think it was really promising. I felt like it missed on a couple of marks, especially in terms of progression and storyline and stuff like that. But I did really, really like the kind of moment-to-moment gameplay of it. So Watch Dogs 3, I'm excited about this whole, you can recruit anyone. It's not about this main character or anything like that. You pretty much have a gang that you can recruit, any kind of gang you want. Whether you can actually choose anyone really to be in this game and for you to play as them, or there's going to be quite a strict number of characters that are in the game, like 50, and they have slightly different hairstyles, but they're like technically the same kind of character model. I don't know, but I like the idea of this for the next iteration of Watch Dogs, and I'm really excited to play this when it comes out.
Every day, the disease tries to crush us and make us forget who we are, but I keep fighting. My name is Aiden, and I am infected.
Dying Light was a complete surprise when it came out. I remember the week it came out when everyone was kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be another Dead Island clone, and that's pretty much what it was. And I think at that point, everyone was kind of sick of Dead Island and all those kind of games that were coming. Zombie games basically came out when Dead Island came out, a lot of them. Loads of zombie games, but that was a fun couple of years. Now with Dying Light 2, they're trying to have a bit more consequences to your actions that you do in Dying Light. So in Dying Light 2, things you do in the game will affect what you see in the world. Sort of like Dishonored 2, or Dishonored used to do when you started killing people off, or you would spare people and stuff like that. But in Dying Light 2, you're gonna see changes happen, and they'll affect the storyline in big ways, is what they have said. Again, with these kind of games, you don't know how hugely effective each decision will be. It might be a small, minor thing, and you know, I when people usually say like, oh, your storyline and the things you do really, really affects the storyline, I usually, when I see that, I don't listen to it, because I'd rather just go, right, I'll go into the story and decide for myself it's actually really affecting the storyline. Because they could just mean like a small little thing has changed that's really insignificant. But I think from the footage I've seen so far of Dying Light 2, that it actually does. It changes a lot in terms of like structures that are there. So for example, you could do a mission where you have to help these people get wood, and if you do it successfully, then a new bridge will be built somewhere, and you're able to use that bridge. And if you fail that mission, then the people died who obviously needed the wood, and the bridge is not built, so you can't have a bridge anymore. Things like that, which is quite cool. I think if every little mission does something little like that, that would be quite interesting to see. I'm really excited for this. Hellblade, the first one, was, man, that was a game. That was quite a ride. It really tried to do something quite new in terms of how it presented itself in terms of cinematics wise. For example, the game recommends you play the game with headphones. This is Hellblade 1 I'm talking about. And there's a really good reason for that, and I won't go into it, but it does really work. And the whole experience you have with Hellblade is really kind of best suited to like a one-shot experience, or maybe even like playing it once, having a break, and then finishing off. It was a short story experience. It was a short narrative experience with basic kind of combat elements in it, but everything else around it in terms of its presentation, everything it was trying to show you, and everything it was trying to do with different parts of the game in terms of its sound, in terms of its graphics, in terms of visually what you see. Some really smart and clever designs in terms of their level design. It just really blew my mind, Hellblade, when the first one came out. So Hellblade 2, let's see what they can do with that, because I was nothing but impressed with the first one when that first came out.
I won't hurt ya!
And finally, even though I know it's most likely not coming out in 2020, I'm going to be a dick and just put it in there anyway. I'm going to say the final thing that I'm most excited about this year in 2020 is a new BioShock game. So this is 2K's attempt at doing a BioShock. The last time they did this, they did BioShock 2, which I liked, and it's really enjoyable. This one is tougher because we've already been to certain locations we've already been to Rapture, we've already been to Columbia. I'm really intrigued to see what they do with 4. Do they go back to Rapture and their roots, or is this Columbia again, or is this completely new? I think in my eyes it's going to be a completely new place. It's going to try kind of cut ties with the previous 3 games and iterations, have them be their own kind of thing, and have this be the start of a new saga potentially for 2K, or a new series of BioShock games coming out that all link together maybe in a way. But either way, I'm really excited for BioShock. I think I could do with a BioShock game coming out in 2020 or even 2021. I think we're due one. I don't know what it means. It sounds like I'm having a baby or something. Like, I think we're due a baby. So that's my top 10 games I'm most looking forward to in 2020. If you do have any games that you are interested in that I haven't listed, please leave them in the comments below, because I probably will go check them out if there's a game I haven't mentioned here. I know there's other games I haven't mentioned and they couldn't make the list, but you know, I only had room for 10, so there you go. If this is your first time watching this channel, please follow me on Twitter. Just listen to me yap all day. My Twitter link is in the description below. Go listen to me yap all day. You might like it, you might not, either way. Something for you to do, I guess. Also, check me out on Twitch. I'm on twitch.tv/different level. Link is in the description below. Also, check out Different Level, which is my other channel. I make kind of professional sort of documentaries and videos about video games on that channel. Over here, we're a bit like, couldn't give a crap. Just sort of put a video out and see what happens, sort of a deal. Thought you should know that. Either way, thank you very much. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.